The Chicago Bears just got a triple dose of great news. And I know a lot of us wanted to see a third rounder get added to our coffers, right? Not only this year, but next year. But I'm going to talk through how it's actually good news that Ian Cunningham didn't get the Jacksonville GM job. And he's going to be staying here in Chicago as the right hand man to GM Ryan Poles. That's a really good thing. Also, in a related story, the team cuts have begun, and this is leading up to the combine. It's going to be here in a week. And one team leader in DeMarcus Walker just got cut from the Chicago Bears. This, to me, also really telegraphs the Bears' next move. And the other guy is kind of addition by subtraction, Gerald Everett. That's a cut that really needed to be done. More on that in just a moment. But I want to talk about DeMarcus Walker. And this is according to NFL Media's Mike Garofalo. The Bears are planning to release defensive end DeMarcus Walker, a move that's going to save the team $5.25 million in cap space. So, kind of looking at it from one direction, here's the thing. We just saw the Philadelphia Eagles win the Super Bowl, right? And it can be argued that the main reason they won the Super Bowl is because they had like 7 impactful defensive linemen. Now we see the Bears cutting DeMarcus Walker. I mean, we need a deep rotation, right? But the problem is, Walker, he's not an edge 2. He's more of an edge 3 to 4. But this guy's just a solid player, and it's debatable if he's going to be replaced with just this $5 million that we saved. He also had a lot of versatility. He had the ability to bounce inside as well. I, for one, really enjoyed him. I always thought he was a good soundbite, just a nasty attitude on the field, a good locker room leader as well. But on a really good team, the guy should not be a starter. Let's be honest. And I think it actually telegraphs what the Bears are planning at right end, because releasing both these two players, more are likely to come. This adds about $11 million to our 2025 cap situation. So that brings the Bears to $80 million in cap space. That's huge. And this is on a team that needs help rushing the passer. You cut a solid contributor here. I think it triggers and shows that one of these big free agent moves at defensive end, they're going to happen. Now, I'm not really expecting Myles Garrett. I'm not really expecting a big trade for Micah Parsons. I think the draft capital needed for them would just be a ridiculous ask for this team we got to build through the draft. But we also have this $80 million in cap space. I think it's a precursor to maybe trading for Trey Hendrickson. That's a lower draft pick compensation, where it is even a third rounder would get him in town. And it's even more evident that he's going to be available after the Bengals. They just tagged T. Higgins for huge money. I don't think they can afford him. And the Bears have the money to pay him with minimal investment. But the move that I think that really makes sense is Khalil Mack. A simple free agent move. He's got plenty of gas left in the tank, and a guy who can still get after the passer big time and can sign, let's say, a team-friendly 2-year deal for about, with some of the money naturally coming via signing bonus, max cap on this projected contract. I think it'd likely be as low as $16 million a year if you figure out a signing bonus and like working the contract properly. At the very most, we're looking at $20 million per. Fully affordable, but the good thing too is that it's not a long-term commitment. This guy could be a quality bridge for an end we draft in the second round this year, maybe. He can develop behind him, learn from him, and even a guy like Booker. He can continue to bulk up in the weight room because he doesn't quite fit the mold that Dennis Allen looks for as a right end. Perhaps be the long-term answer there as well. I think it's really win-win here. But if the Bears decide to part ways with Walker as they have, they'll need to be sure they can land another caliber player or better in the open market. I think this missing piece opposite Sweat, Khalil Mack, he really fits the deal here. And we're looking at some other top options to replace Walker as right end. I think maybe a reunion with Khalil Mack obviously is in order, but it's also possible they explore other top edge rushers. Josh Sweat, there's more money from him. Ojulari, maybe even pair Chase Young for a bit of a reunion back with defensive coordinator Dennis Allen. And also, you got to remember with Khalil Mack, Dennis Allen is the coach that he actually drafted him. So there's a lot of familiarity there. I don't have to even talk through the familiarity that Khalil Mack has with Chicago. I think we could definitely welcome him back with open arms. And now we're talking about Gerald Everett. The Bears, he's going to get cut. He was the first cap casualty in all of this. He saves the Bears $5.5 million in salary cap space. Looking at Everett, he lasted just one season on a 2-year, $12 million deal. He signed that last offseason, and he finished his lone year in Chicago with get this, 8 receptions for 36 yards, 0 touchdowns, and that's in playing all 17 games for the Bears, 22% of the team's offensive snaps. And when you figure in Everett's 2 penalties as well, season looks even worse, right? But that's almost $1 million a catch for him last year that we paid him. Just not a good fit, almost 0 production, kind of addition by subtraction, and we take the cap hit savings. Wish him the best. We also likely just never used him properly either. Let's close with just a little bit on Ian Cunningham. Incredible value to GM Ryan Poles through his time here. GM Ryan Poles is quoted as calling him his true right-hand man that'll tell it like it is. And he's been Poles' top lieutenant in this regime, and he helps with free agent meetings, draft meetings, day-to-day operations, other aspects of the organization is what he provides. But his most public decision came last April. That's when he convinced Ryan Poles not to move up in the draft. I have a lot of help here behind me, don't I? He convinced Poles not to move up in the draft to select wide receiver Rome Odunze. He persuaded him not to do it, and the Bears still were able to land their top target with the 9th overall pick in last year's draft. And the Bears ended up getting their top 2 players on the board. Ian Cunningham was a big part of that. So he turned down the Arizona Cardinals GM job. I don't know if he's regretting it at this point, but this is a guy that's definitely fully invested with the Chicago Bears. He's loyal to GM Ryan Poles. And I think if Poles, Cunningham, and the rest of the front office, if they just blow it out of the market over the next several weeks, they do a really good job. Ian Cunningham is going to definitely get another opportunity, and that might actually be a better job than the Jacksonville one. I think the Jacksonville job is going to be kind of a dumpster fire. I don't really believe in Cohen, but anyways, you guys let me know what you think. Bear down. We'll continue to give you daily coverage on everything Chicago Bears and the Underwear Olympics. It is just a week away, and I can't wait. See you guys later. In case you were wondering, that's the combine, and we will talk soon.